So, what is happening in the world at the moment? Well, Russia is invading, still invading Ukraine.
I heard they called for a ceasefire recently, but Russia wanted control of like half of Ukraine.
Yeah, there's a reason they're going after like the Black Sea area, because that's a warm water port for trade and stuff.
So, right, you being the historian here, you need to explain this to me. Is
I'll
that
try.
Crimea?
So Crimea is part of it. So Russia, I think it was 2014, Russia took over Crimea.
Okay.
But nobody kind of did anything. They kind of just were like, not to compare, but yeah, Hitler did a similar sort of thing.
Oh dear.
Yeah, here we go. So
Old
it's
Nazis.
pretty much the same thing where Putin kind of says, well, this used to be our land, so we're just taking it back.
Okay.
Or there's Russian people living here, so we're just taking it back as they want us to. So, but where Crimea lies, it's in the Black Sea, I think, which is a warm water port, because otherwise Russia only has cold water ports up north.
Okay.
So Black Sea is surrounded by like oil rich countries, so a lot of trade goes through there. So for Russia to have a big port on that stretch of water is very helpful for their own like trade goals and everything. So that's Crimea, and then in the Donbass as well, that's Putin invaded there first to kind of claim it because there's a lot of Russian people there because it's on the border with Russia.
And does he have a lot of supporters there?
Yeah, so they've basically become republics now.
Okay.
So basically they're Russian republics.
Okay.
But Ukraine are like, no, they're still ours. But Putin's going after all of this so that instead of just flooding Ukraine with Russians, Putin's going to use it if he ever comes to like get a ceasefire by saying, well, okay, we'll stop invading, we'll stop fighting if we can have this area here.
Okay. And that's basically is that what they've done now? They're saying they'll stop fighting, but you have to give over all of this land.
I think that's what it's going towards, because otherwise it's just going to keep going and going.
Yeah.
But Russia, by the looks of things, Russia are taking so many casualties that it's not worthwhile.
That's quite surprising, because you look at Russia and you think, oh, they would have possibly one of the biggest armies in the world.
Yeah.
And you look at World War II, how the Nazis moved in, and they nearly did take over the whole country.
Yeah.
But the whole winter thing happened, and that slowed them down. And eventually, Russia rebuilt and came back after and pushed them out. But no, I just look at it and I go, seriously, it's the 21st century.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
The world's too complicated now to start invading countries, and things are too high risk.
Yeah, because you look at 1960s with the whole Cuban Missile Crisis and the Soviet era. I just think, look, I understand that he's probably freaking out about the whole NATO side of it, but you can't be destroying countries.
No. I mean, if Ukraine say, yeah, you can have it, Russia need to rebuild it, so they're going to have to pump thousands of rubles into it to get, billions of rubles into it to get it back up and running.
But then, do you believe the stories that apparently Putin's sick? Or do you just think he's old?
I don't even think is he not like mid 50s or 60s or something? Like, he's not even that old.
I'm going to search this up, because I said this. I can't remember who I was talking to, and I said, oh, is Putin not only in his 50s? And they said, no, he's like 70 odds.
There was the footage of him at the table where he's literally gripping onto the table, but I think he was meant to be going off on a bit of time off anyway.
He's 69.
Good age.
Wait.
Great age.
Yeah, I don't know. Be pretty mad though if you're dying and you're gonna then invade a country, and
basically leave it for everybody else to clean up.
The worst possible thing to happen is a nuclear war, but
exactly.
I cannot see any country doing that, because
no, he's a sociopath though. Like a couple of years ago, Angela Merkel was in charge of Germany at the time. She was the chancellor, and she was attacked by a dog when she was younger, so she has like scars and stuff from it. So in one of the meetings, Putin has this big like Alsatian thing, so he literally just let it off the lead and just let her walk about the room, knowing that she's terrified of dogs.
You serious?
Yeah, so he's like he's a like narcissist and sociopath and everything. Like he's
just messes with your head.
Yeah.
Oh,
wild.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It actually is smart. You want to make your opponent.
It's intimidation.
feel,
It's pure like intimidation.
No, I think it is quite sad though. You kind of look at it and you go, right, really? Like, can we not just have peace?
Exactly.
Because you've had enough war. And one of the things I don't agree with though is, yes, completely support Ukraine, and I do. I support the people there because I think it's an awful thing. But you look at what's happening in other countries around the world where there's wars, and
exactly,
it doesn't really get the status that this war has.
Because it's too close to home, and it's Russia.
Yeah, I think it's a bit sad that those other countries don't get the recognition.
Exactly, like how much money has been raised for Ukraine over the last couple of months, whereas if you raised that much money for like some of the African countries, you could sort out a lot of problems down there.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the same with the whole COVID thing. If you pumped money like you did into COVID and everything into Africa, you'd sort out a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But Africa's a different story, which we'll have to come on to another day because it's wild.
Yes.